You clicked on this video because you haven't made money online yet and you just can't figure out, you kind of want to know like how to finally get started, how you get that freedom, whatever. And so I'm gonna answer your questions. I'm gonna give you actionable steps on how actually to make this happen. But most importantly, at the end of the video, I will tell you the mindset shift that you really need, because while I will give you actionable steps, well, I will tell you exactly what you need to do. The most important part will be at the end of the video, so make sure to stick around for that. So it's really fairly simple. If you want to make money online, I'm going to talk about two different aspects. The first one being that if you're not making money right now, then you're either not an expert on anything, or you just haven't marketed yourself as an expert yet. You haven't marketed your expertise yet. So what do I mean by that? If we look at the easiest ways to make money online, then it's either selling info, products, or selling services, right? They could either be you're selling an online course, you're selling a mastermind, a group, whatever, or you're doing like coaching services, right? Like you actually like have clients, you sit down with them, you have like a 6-week program where you go with them step by step, you hold their hands, you have like a do it with them offer, right? And the reason, like, and that's like by far the easiest way to make money right now. The coaching business is huge. I know so many guys who are coaching coaches, right? Because a lot of people, they want to get in on this right now. And I think like the market is still so untapped. I think there's still so much money to be made. If you look at all like the top people in that space, the people who've been around, they say like this is going to be a multiple trillion-dollar industry, right? Selling info, that's the best way by far to make money online right now. And so if you haven't made money online so far, then that's because, as I said, either you're not an expert, you can't actually build a proper offer where you have enough information, you have enough expertise to put that in. This can literally be whatever, right? Like there's people who teach knitting online who make like, I don't know, 15 to 50K a month by teaching like something really small, something really niche. Actually, the more niche you are, the easier it is to get clients, because like the more you define like who you want, the easier it is to actually find that person. So whatever it is, you just need to become really good at one thing. And also like, I think that's kind of like what the hard part comes in, because you don't learn this from the get-go, and this is really important. You also need to brand yourself as someone who does it a bit different, right? So there's generally 3 big like areas that people like care about when it comes to like life, like that they want to learn about, like when it comes to selling info, which is health, wealth, relationships, right? And like there's other stuff that falls in these categories, but those are the 3 big ones. So like, for example, like health could be like fitness coaching, it could be like health coaching. Like I've seen a guy, for example, just to like iterate my point from earlier, I know a guy like he's specifically a skin coach. So he has a course, and I think he has mentorship as well, whatever, where he only like teaches people how to improve their skin, their like skin health, right? For people who have eczema, who have acne, whatever, he teaches them like holistically how to like heal themselves, their gut, whatever, right? Like starting from the inside out, whatever. That is a beautiful example on how to focus on like one of the 3 big niches, right? In this case, it's health. But then taking like a bit of a different turn, right? Because like when we look at the health space, what most people do is they sell fitness coaching. By far, most people, you know, like, or at least like from what I've seen, most people, they're like online coaches. They like help people how to get like jacked, whatever, nutrition plans, all of that kind of stuff. So like that's quite a like overrun niche. But like health is so much more, right? Health is like anything that has to do with the body, has to do with health, right? That could even like be mental health, that could be spiritual health, whatever it is, right? So this is the guy, he took physical health and he made it very specific. It's physical health coaching, like physical health info product for people who struggle with their skin, right? To give you another example, this is actually something I invested in myself. When we look at relationships, right? There's like, I bought a course that was specifically for networking with other people online who are like young entrepreneurs who are traveling around, you know, all of that kind of stuff, like specifically for networking and meeting those kinds of people. That is a very good example on how you can take the entire like relationship sector, which usually the most common ones around those are like dating coaching. I'd say like that's probably like by far like the thing that most people focus on. That's like a good way on how to like pick like a bigger niche and pinpoint something very specific that a certain target audience is attracted to, and then going for that, right? So going back to what I said earlier, the reason why you haven't made money online yet is because either you are not an expert, you don't have enough knowledge, because generally, like, I think you should actually like have like some years of experience. Like you should be able to put like a good offer together. Like your product should slap, your product should like A to Z. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an 80-hour online course, but it should be packed with value. And then also, like, in order to market that, in order to like advertise that, you need to make good videos. You need to make content where you show off that you're an expert, where you show off that you actually have a lot of knowledge. So that is the like main thing I think that I want to tell you in this video, is that you need to become an expert. And like, either you already are and you don't know, which goes back to what I said after that, right? That either you are not an expert, or you have expertise, but you haven't marketed it properly. You haven't sat down to build an offer, to think about a social media strategy, to write out like, what are you gonna do specifically? Who's your ideal customer? What's your customer avatar? All of those kind of stuff. And if you already have expertise, then that's what you need to do, right? You just need to figure out like, okay, you have the expertise, you have knowledge inside. And as I said, like, info is it's the easiest way to make money right now. And so now all you need to do is put that info into a product, into an offer, and sell that, and find your like unique kind of edge, put that into the marketplace. As I said, like, it's such a huge niche. I know so many people who are making so much money just helping other coaches scale, and like they get resistant results. They help coaches go from like sometimes 0 to like 80, 100K within a couple months. So like there's so much potential out there, right? So those are like the number 2 things. Something else, which I think this is even easier, right? Because all of that relies on you yourself starting a business, which in the beginning, this can be quite hard. You need to figure out so many different skills: sales, marketing, product fulfillment, how to build a proper funnel, helping out the customer, all of that kind of stuff, right? So what's even easier, and this is for people, you know, like who, I know this might sound like a lot of work, right? Like building your own business, like your own coaching, info product business, whatever. The other best way to start is by developing one skill that's kind of easy to learn. Like, kind of like, it depends, like all skills will take work in the beginning, and then just working for someone else. Like, everyone you're so convinced that you need to start your own business, you need to do your own thing, that they completely forget that you can also like work remotely. What is most people really what they want is the freedom to work remotely on their own hours, wherever they want, right? That is what you really want. At least that's what I was looking for. So you can do that by working for someone else, but doing it remotely. You can do copywriting from anywhere, right? You can just write emails for someone. You can be in Bali while they're in the USA, right? Because it doesn't matter. Like, you still, like, all it cares is that you fulfill the service. So it doesn't matter how much time you spend where you are, as long as you deliver on your service, right? So that's, I'd say, even an easier path to get started making your first money. Is just by learning one skill. You don't need to develop like 5 different skills, an entire skill set, which business is all about that, right? It's stacking different skills. And if you're good at them, if you're good at branding, sales, copywriting, marketing, all of those kind of stuff, then you will be a good businessman, right? But like, learning an entire skill set from the get-go is hard. So what's even easier is just learning one skill and then offering that to other business owners, finding someone who's willing to pay you on a month-to-month basis, right? So those are like the 2 big points I'd say you need if you haven't made money online yet, you want to learn how to get started, whatever. But there's, as I said, one more thing which I think is so much more important, and this is probably the real reason why you haven't made the progress you wanted to so far. And that's because everything I just said, you can probably find it online somewhere else. There's probably a video by someone who's smarter than me, who's more knowledgeable, whatever, who's already said the same things. Because the reality is, all the information you need to learn whatever skill, to learn whatever expertise, it's out there. You can literally get a fully like online degree for $0 online. Like, I think a lot of like big universities, they put their courses up for free on the internet. The main reason why you haven't made money online so far isn't because you didn't know the knowledge I just told you. Maybe that's the case for some people who are just getting started, right? But if you've been looking into this area for longer and you haven't figured out yet, it's because you haven't taken enough action. You haven't actually followed the advice, right? And there's gonna be two kinds of people who like watch this video. It's gonna be the ones who watch it all the way till the end. They're actually gonna listen to me, realize what I'm saying is right, and then get their ass up and somehow make it happen. And this is gonna be the minority. And the majority, they're gonna listen to this, think either I already know this, or like, yeah, this is kind of good advice, but then still don't do anything. And that is the main reason I see so many people, I literally work with those people, who just don't take enough action, who, they say, oh, I want to be this guy who, travels and makes money online and has the freedom, whatever. But like, it doesn't just happen overnight. You have to work. You gotta work. You just gotta take action, right? Even if you don't know how to get started. A year ago, I didn't know what to do. A year ago, when I first started my business, I had zero clue. Guess what? I figured it out. If I can compare the version of me who started a business to the entrepreneur I am right now, it's miles apart, and I still don't know much, right? But I know so much more in just being in business for 1 year, trying, failing, learning from mentors, learning from other people from my network. And I think this is the more important part of this video. It's like, I don't know how to drill this into people because it's so easy, but you just gotta get started, man. Whatever it is, like I used to be the guy who sat there, who listened to the exact same advice that you're listening to right now, and I was like, yeah, I can understand this. But then I didn't actually apply that to my life. Like, I would search up like how to start copywriting, and then I told myself, hey, the market is already like oversaturated, this won't work for me. And then I would still go back to the things that I used to do back then. Like, I was still taking action on other things, but they just weren't working because I hadn't spent enough time on them and I didn't have enough knowledge. But still, like, you don't make progress, you shoot yourself in the foot by already counting yourself out and by not taking action. Is the main thing. And a lot of the times, that is the actual reason that keeps people stuck, is that they know what to do, they just don't do it for some reason, right? And what you need in this situation is actually need people who know you, who hold you accountable, and who are honest with you. You need people who will call you out, who will check in and you say, hey man, have you actually done your tasks? Have you been doing content? Have you been building a personal brand? Have you been doing your online course and actually applying the lessons? Like, all the information in the world, and that's the problem, is like, there's so much information out there on business, on certain skills. Like, you can binge watch hours of content on YouTube from nerds in their field when it comes to whatever skills you want to learn, right? And you can teach yourself so much, but if you don't apply, it doesn't matter, right? You can sit there, do full online courses. If you never execute, you will never get it done. And that is the real reason why you haven't made money online so far. And so if you're a young guy who wants to make this happen, you really, want to have that freedom to travel, to work whenever you want remotely, I have a paid online community where we help people exactly with that, taking action, holding you accountable, getting you where you need to go by just, being brutally honest with you, helping you achieve your goals. So if that's something that interests you, I'll have a link down below where I explain exactly what it is we're doing. So if you want to check that out, then go ahead. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and please remember, the number one thing you need to do is to take action, and then you will figure it out. After a couple of months, you will definitely figure it out. If you're smart, if you're consistent, if you're actionable, you will get there. So yeah, that's my number one advice. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.